Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Please consider subscribing to my channel. So today we're gonna talk about a thing that it's probably the most questioned thing that I get on my channel is, do fragrances expire and how to protect the fragrances. So I'm gonna share my experiences, and I'm gonna start off with the um you know thing that if there's the blogger that says that fragrances do not expire, just know that they're lying, because fragrances do expire. It's a perishable item. They have um, an expiration date. Sometimes fragrances have an expiration date as sort of a garbage can with a number inside. I don't know if you can see it here, but it has this kind of garbage can, and it says 36M. So the M stands for months, and I don't have any other box, because I trash my boxes. So this is the box that I have, that I'm keeping, that I like. So 36M is 36 months. So they are legally obligated to state that your fragrance is good to go for 36 months. They kind of take the full responsibility. If you store the fragrance right and it still gets and it still goes wild, they are kind of obligated uh, to guarantee the fragrance will not go wild, it will not go bad for you. But it's kind of difficult to actually prove that you have been storing the fragrance right. Anyway, 36 months or sometimes 24 months. So it's a legal obligation. It means that for 36 months, it guarantees that the fragrance is fine. But then there's obviously, I'm gonna tell you about the exceptions and the cases. So this what comes to the legal thing on the packaging. And obviously I do have fragrances that are much older than this, and they are completely fine. And so when the blogger that says that fragrances do not expire, they do not have expiration date, they are lying. But it is true that might be that their fragrances are completely fine. It can be the truth, but in a whole, the fragrances do expire. It's a perishable item. It's what you have to understand. So how to store the fragrances, we all know the basic rules, but I'm going to repeat them for you in case you don't know them, or you forgot something about them. So there's several things that will damage your fragrance. So direct sunlight, direct light is a fragrance killer. You have to store your fragrances out from the light. It should not be in the direct light. Even if you have just one fragrance, do not store it under the light. Do not store it in a very light room. Just store it in your, I don't know, the cupboard. Store it in your wardrobe, where you have your scarves and your gloves. Put it in there. It should be out of the light, out of the sunlight. So for that, I like very, very much these cans, and these are the Montal fragrances. This one is Oud Amazing, a beautiful fragrance. Aesthetically, I don't mind these bottles. They are very fine aesthetically, but what I love about these bottles the most is that it is made of tin. They are very light, and they do not permit the sunlight to penetrate, so they are protected from the sunlight. But then if you have this bottle and you put it in your room, in your, I don't know, your bedroom, and then it's always full of sunlight, and the sun rays go exactly and directly into this bottle, it might still damage the fragrance inside. So keep them out of the sunlight. Second thing is the is to keep them in as much stable temperature as possible. I know that not all people need to have a fridge for fragrances. I don't have them, I don't care about them. But some people do. Well, the wine coolers is kind of the optimum thing for them. But just store them in the room that is temperature controlled. You have an air conditioner and it's fine. Or this is the room, this like the coolest room in your house. We all know that the houses are built in a way that there will be a room, there will be the angle of the house that is gonna be the most cool. So just store them there. I know it might not be the most pleasing to the eye, but it's better to not to have the aesthetic part of it, but to have your fragrances intact for as long as it is possible. So cool temperatures like 20 degrees, 22 degrees, not more than that, and just stable temperature. Do not allow for temperature fluctuations. So do not store them in a humid and in a humid place where you have water, when you have steam, when you have them colder temperatures. So do not store them in the bathroom or in the shower room, in the room where you take your shower. Do not do that, because you take a hot shower, you have a steam, and then you take a cold shower. The temperature fluctuations isn't an ideal thing for fragrances, so avoid this as much as possible. So basically, if you have a basement in your house, you have a basement, keep them there. It's gonna be the best thing. Then, if you have the shelving that where you have all these beautiful bottles of yours, do not put these lights, do not put the lights that warm up. If you have been to the fragrance store, you probably have seen these shelves in the store and they are hot because of the light, because of the light bulbs. They are warming up and it's gonna damage the fragrance. Do not allow for that. So it's better without the light, or just put some LED lights that will not be hot. Actually, it's better without the light. And so these are very, very, very basic rules that we all know. And actually, if you have a cap, if the fragrance comes with a cap, put the cap on. And it was a time where I have kept all my bottles in the boxes. I had every single fragrance in the boxes. If you go like maybe 4 5 5 years back on my channel, you will see me. On the back is gonna be a huge kind of furniture, the white one. I have a lot of things there, and every single fragrance is in the box. So, and I was like, yeah, it's better because in that room I had a direct sunlight. So it's better to keep them in the box. But in this room where I'm filming, I have my blinds closed all the time. There's no sunlight, there's just four lamps, and they're directly in my face. They do not affect my fragrances, and I don't have any other box. I don't keep the boxes anymore. So keep them in the boxes if it makes you feel better. And then the other thing that is very, very important, and some people kind of fail to understand it, the oxygen, the oxidizing of fragrance is a real thing. Like if you have a fragrance that is a full bottle, like let's say this one, we have a full, almost full bottle, it's up to here, and this is the empty space, and the oxygen will get inside and it's gonna start oxidizing the fragrance. So the more fragrance is missing, the more air will get inside and the quicker the oxidization will happen. So if you have a habit to leave a little bit of a fragrance in your bottles just to remind you of the fragrance you had, don't do that. Project Pan is the answer. use them up, because the less the fragrance is in the bottle, the less of a fragrance is in the bottle, the quicker is a process of it basically going bad. So oxygen is also an enemy to a fragrance. Now, because I do have this in my hand, some people say, well, the fragrances turn when the color is, turning. This is not true. This is completely untrue. Look at this bottle. Do you recognize this bottle? Probably not, because the bottle, well, the bottle is very recognizable. This is Hypnose by Lancome. It's a very beautiful fragrance. It is my third bottle. And if you have been having this fragrance at any stage of your life, you know that after some time, after a very short period of time, the color of this bottle, it turns. So mine has already turned, but the fragrance itself is perfect. The fragrance itself is intact. The color is totally different. The color of this fragrance was very beautiful. It was like light lilac-y, very, very pretty fragrance color. But now this color is kind of undescribed. I just can't describe it. It's something like it's like a bit of maroon. It's like a bit of this orangey and brown, and I don't know, it's not a pretty thing, but the color is totally different, but the fragrance is absolutely normal. I do have some other examples. So these are the two fragrances from Kayali, and I have noticed it, especially with Kayali, but with some other brands as well. The fragrances of Kayali turn very quickly, turn in color. The color is shifting, but the fragrance is still okay. So this is Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato. That is supposed to be kind of light greenish hue, and it's not greenish, as you can see. And in a matter of maybe a year, it has gone from this kind of light green, very pretty fragrance color, to this one. And this one is the fragrance that I no longer wear, because it has become so intense in color that it leaves stains. So this is Kayali Vanilla 28, and look how intense, how kind of Bordeaux it is. Like, it's insane. It is insane color, and I do have a napkin in here. I'm gonna show you something. Just give me a moment. So this is the color that originally was like ambery color. So now this is this color. I'm gonna repeat it for you, so no one can say that you're making it up. So look at this. Do you see that? Do you see that? And this will make stains on your clothes. This will make stains on your body. Luckily, from your body you're able to wash it off immediately, but on the clothes is a totally different story. So that's why I kind of even like the scent, but I'm not using this anymore, because it has turned to this color in such a rush that it's like, it's impossible. So the color is not an indication of the fact that the fragrance is gone bad. It's not, because all these fragrances, they are fine. They are fine. The color has gone absolutely wild. The same thing basically goes with this one, and this one is Angel by Mugler, and this one is a very, very beautiful fragrance. I love this fragrance. Look at this color. It was supposed to be like very light baby blue, very beautiful. It turns into this yellowish green, something that I can't even describe. But the color of the fragrance does not mean that the fragrance is bad. The fragrance is fantastic. It is good. It is good. It is fine. The fragrance is completely okay. The color is completely off. It's completely gone wild. So Now, here I do have another example of a beautiful bottle that I like. So this is the Juliet Has a Gun, and this is Lady Vengeance. And look at this. This one is glass, but it's opaque, so the sun doesn't penetrate the bottle. So I like this bottle as well. And so I don't really have many other things to tell you. So do not pay attention on people saying that, oh, it's an old fragrance, I don't know if the fragrance is fine. There's the chances that the fragrance is fine, but there's also a lot of chances that the fragrance isn't fine. It depends on how the fragrance was stored, especially if you're getting it second hand. Please ask how the fragrance was stored, where it was stored. There's a chance that you will not get an honest answer, but just remember that even in the fragrance stores, in a perfumery stores, fragrances can be stored incorrectly, and you can actually get yourself a fragrance that is like maybe 1 year old, 2 years old, and it's gonna be spoiled because it was not stored correctly. So the correct storage is a key. Now I'm gonna show you some of the fragrances, and this one is really an old fragrance. This one is the end of the 90s. This one is a beautiful fragrance by Jean Paul Gaultier. This is Classique by Jean Paul Gaultier. This is a limited edition. It has a corset that you can take off. So you take off the corset, you have this bottle. Look at this color. Look at this color. The fragrance is fantastic. It is fantastic. The fragrance is old. It's like 30 years, 30 plus years old. It is fantastic. Then I do have other fragrances like that are 30 years more or less. I have two fragrances, Tender Poison by Dior, and this one is a fragrance that doesn't have a sprayer. It has a dabber, and this one has a sprayer. So as per usual, the fragrances that have dabbers, they go bad easily, because when you open up the fragrance, you take the fragrance, you usually either apply this one with this dabber, or then with your finger. And the finger, even if you clean your finger, if you disinfect your finger, we still have some oils on our fingers, etc., etc. It all goes inside the liquid, and it kind of accelerates the process of the fragrance going bad. But all of these fragrances, they have in their like 30 years, maybe 30 something, maybe a little bit less than 30, and they are still fantastic. So the key is to store the fragrances in a correct way. Again, I'm not storing them in my boxes. I don't have the boxes anymore. I just store them on the shelves. And there's also, this is the last point that I want to make, there's also this idea of some people that if the fragrance is expensive, then there's the chances that it's gonna last potentially forever. But then if the fragrance is low cost, it's gonna last less. It's not true. Some fragrances, they go bad because they were stored incorrectly, and they cost a lot of money, but they can go bad all the same. And there's some fragrances that are really expensive, and they're still very, very fine. So the price doesn't really have any impact on how you on the fragrance. How you store it is the answer. You store it well, the fragrance will last well, and it will serve you well. If you don't store it correctly, then there's the chance that it's gonna go bad. So me personally, how I understand the fragrance is gone bad, it's the notes of the fragrance. When you smell it and you smell that something is off, usually it starts with the head notes. So if the head notes become kind of more there's a lot of alcohol in them, or there's this kind of feeling that it has gone a bit sour, or there's the feeling that it's very, very ambery when the fragrance isn't ambery at all. Then there's a chance that the fragrance is off. And then one other thing that is very, very important: do not throw away the fragrance immediately. Do this, especially if you haven't been touching the fragrance for some time. Spray it several times, 10 times if you need it. It might be so that the fragrance, because there's always a fragrance inside of this of this tube. Inside of this tube there's the fragrance, and there's the chance that it has gone old. So spraying this, you don't take the fragrance from the bottle, you spray the fragrance that is in the tube. So spray it once, twice, 3, 5, 10 times, up until the tube clears up and it fills up with the new fragrance, and then feel the difference. It can be that the fragrance is old in the tube but not in the bottle. So yeah, and so it's pretty easy. It's pretty logical, even all of these rules that we have as to how to store the fragrances. Please do follow them, even if you don't have a huge collection, even if you have just one fragrance. Follow the rules and the fragrance will serve you well, and it will serve you for many, many, many years. I thank you for your attention, and I will see you next time on Wednesday with the review of several fragrances. And I wish you a beautiful day, beautiful Sunday. Bye.